welcome to Butler Henderson. I have a long list of thanks as well as the welcomes to do. I'll start by welcoming the Mayor of Charnwood and his delightful wife, so welcome to both of you. I saw them 2 weeks ago at Rempston, so we have met before, but welcome again, nice to see you. We have Councillor David Parsons, who's leader of Leicestershire County Council, and his wife. We have 2 council members from Leicestershire and from Charnwood Borough Council joining us. So it's a lot of people here to help us launch this today. We also have Nicky Morgan, who's our MP for Loughborough, and I must say that she's been a fantastic help to Great Central Railway since she got into that job. In fact, before that, she was very much our friend and has done a great deal to help us. We also have Helen Ashby and her husband Adrian. Helen's in charge of everything at the National Railway Museum to do with locomotives and where they go, where the coaches go, and she's an extremely easy person to deal with as long as you do as you're told. But welcome to Helen. She's a visitor that comes fairly often to the railway with husband Adrian, and she's the person who releases to us locomotives like Oliver Cromwell, Salamiel and others, and when we have a golden oldies that she releases locos like Planet and Rocket. So we're very well served with the railway, with the National Railway Museum, and that will get on and get better and better as we develop this company. I would now like to welcome the Leicester Railway Society, and as you see, they have sponsored this building. It started a couple of years ago, and we made promises. In fact, Horace, who's going to take over from me in a second, was extremely cooperative and actually dug the first sod just down there. From that, we're on time, we're on schedule, not quite on price, but fairly near to it. So I would thank Horace and everybody from Leicester Railway Society. We're very proud to be part of them, in as much that this will be there for generations to come. So thank you very much on behalf of all at the railway. There are other people, I could go on and I'll probably miss 100 people to thank, but that's not the object of the exercise today. I would like to thank Tony Sparks. Tony's is in charge of all our construction. He's the director of the company. He works tirelessly. He's got great support from his wife, Pauline. So, Pauline, I think you're here. Thank you very much for that support. And Tony leads a very concise team and brilliant engineers. And this is only halfway to where we're going. Who else have I not thanked? Clive Baines, who Clive is in the audience. And Clive has been one of our major supporters financially, and he gives me a fairly hard time on a daily basis. But thank you, Clive, for all you've done for the railway. It's very much appreciated. And to anyone I haven't thanked, thank you very much in case of that. Finally, it's my great pleasure to hand over to Horace Gamble, who's got a little story to tell. He's been with Leicester Railway Society for many, many years. So thank you very much for coming. I hope you like what we've done, and over to Horace. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to come here, be invited here this afternoon. And I'm not going to say a lot. You've all waited very patiently, and you all want to see this open. Come and see what a marvellous building it is. As a representative of the Leicester Railway Society, and as Bill said, I've been a member many years, over 70 to be exact, it gives me tremendous pleasure to be here, and I'd like to invite Mr. Paul Atterbury, wherever he's hiding. There he is. On behalf of the Leicester Railway Society and the Great Central, I'm a member of both. I've got a foot in both camps. So I'm going to hand the keys over to Paul. And yes, Okay. Right.
My turn?
Yes, great pleasure, Paul, to meet you and to invite you to open this splendid building.
Thank you.
It really is a beauty. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming. This is a very exciting day for me because very occasionally I'm asked to open things and do things like that, but it's very rare that I can actually apply the fee I usually apply for such things, which is a footplate ride. And luckily today that was possible. Many of the things I've opened, it doesn't seem to apply somehow, but there we are. When I was very, very small and learning to enjoy railways, and was a train spotter standing on remote platforms in South London, where I grew up, going to the cafe or going to the buffet and having a bun and something else was very much part of the day, and I think I was given my sixpence to go and spend, because I was sent out for the day to waste my time, if you like, looking at railway locomotives back in the 1950s, and I enjoyed it always, and in fact the visit to the cafe was always very important. I mustn't use a cafe, a buffet. And of course I've watched, as I've spent my life with trains and travelling by trains, the sort of steady decline of the station cafe and buffet, and its resurrection. You know, there are some very, very good station buffets, particularly in my area, the southwest, where I think private enterprise has taken a hand, and you get very quirky and sometimes very eccentric buffets, but very enjoyable. Yeovil Junction is one that I used to frequent quite often. My attachment to station buffets has also meant that I've always thought, when I'm very old and have passed all this, maybe I could run a station buffet. You know, it seemed to be quite an entertaining thing to do, and today the dream is almost there. I have the keys. It could be mine. It's been great being here. I think this is a great achievement. This is a wonderfully expanding railway with huge potential. I'm very involved in, not preservation on a day-to-day basis, but I believe that certain railways have so much to contribute. And this is certainly one of the ones in England that has almost the most to contribute, because it offers so much. It's going to have very exciting connections sooner or later. It offers something that, as you all know, is very different. And thundering through that station this morning on Pitchforth Hall was actually a sort of a hint of how things had been, and also a very exciting moment for me. It also reminded me how actually amazingly uncomfortable it is on the Cabell Railway locomotive travelling at speed, which means I admire ever more those who did it as their profession. It's not a very comfortable place to be at speed, but nevertheless a great experience. So I think it's a pleasure for me to be here. I think this is a great step forward, and I think without further ado, what I'd like to do is borrow the figure from Sarah and say, first of all, I'm going to declare this cafe open, and I'm going to hope that everybody enjoys it. It's not a ship, but I could say, may God bless those who have their cups of tea here. Yeah. Thank you very much. There we are.